If I were a rich man, I did all day long I'd sing a little song. If I were a wealthy man. Ha! Well, how do you become wealthy? Let's find out. And a warm welcome to one and all. And for those of you not seen me before, my name is Langers, and I am the vocal talent that is the Scruffy Trader. And I do say that with a big smirk on my face, because I was once described as singing like a goose farting in the fog. I still wouldn't give him the mic back and had a jolly time at the karaoke. But that's not why you... Well, then again, you might be, actually, because I do go off on a tangent from time to time. Show you silly things, what I get up to in my life. And why is that? Because I genuinely enjoy it. I love my life. And I love my job.
No way!
You know, sometimes a lot of stress, a lot of hassle. And you need the laughter and the merriment to get you through it. Otherwise, you become a right miserable sod. And probably turn into Popeye with his massive forearm.
You ding dong!
Say. There's a good reason why he's got a good forearm. There you are. Anyway, sorry about that. What are we discussing today? Well, it's actually how to build up a pot, money. Because that's what all traders crave. Well, at least that's what the ones who contact me crave. Me personally, I don't care less.
Are you serious?
The money is not the driver. It's what money can buy. That's the driver. And for me, it is time, freedom. You see, I can do what I like, when I like. You know, if I want to work at home, I'll work at home. If I want to work in Winky's office, I'll work at Winky's office. If I don't want to do anything and I've made enough for the week, I'll go play golf. Now, to me, that is the way the world should be. You know, if you hate what you're doing, change it. You know, nobody owes you a favour and nobody owes you a handout. You have to change it because there's only you can command your own destiny. And when my world went arse up, nobody was going to help me, you know. I had to do it myself. So Winky and I knuckled in and we went through hell and here we are. Got through it on the other side because we did it together. And that's kind of answering a question from the Discord group. A little salute to Dusty. And trust me, my friend, you made Winky's day the other day. You genuinely did. I couldn't be more pleased.
Well, something's turned up in here, and it's not from me. Who've you been playing with?
Nobody, I don't know.
Cow. Fuck's that?
Chocolate.
Really?
There's a nose.
Where's it from?
Oh, that's lovely, that. I don't know what's wrong.
What a wonderful gesture, whoever that is, but we don't know who you are.
That's lovely, yes. We'll get them out.
Go on then.
Thank you.
I'm in for a good night tonight.
You dirty old man.
You're part of the Scruffy Squad, you'll understand what I'm driving at. But fella, well done. And in return, I try and help these guys. And one of the questions that was asked was the journey that I went on to get my wage, or the way that I live today. Now, when I started, I didn't have a lot of money. Why? Because I lost the lot. You know, I mean, I did used to have a factory and I did very well, and it went a bit pear-shaped, and I was left with a bit of money. You know, and I needed to work that money into something that was livable, where I had enough sort of to keep us ticking by, you know, so I didn't need to necessarily trade for an income, not in the early stages. So I had a small balance, it was just shy of £600, and I started trading that around what I was doing, you know. So I went back to the work environment, if you want to call it that, and I was working, trading, and just grinding away. But the one thing that I had on my side was I was disciplined enough to know it weren't going to come quick, you know. And I think that's what happens when people email me. I get plenty of emails every day, and they're all very good, but the one thing that they're looking for is the magic pill. So I'll get somebody and they'll say, oh, I'm looking to get I want me wage, just give me a strategy. I can't do anything with that, because what they're really wanting me to do is just say X marks the spot, and that just does not happen. You know, you need to be able to understand the charts, you need to read them, and then trade from that. And then underneath that, you need to be disciplined enough to execute your rules, because all systems work. One of the reasons why people fail is that they jump from this to that, the shiny toy syndrome, if you like. You know, oh, there's a system, I'll try that one, which works for a day and then it fails. Oh, there's a system, I'll try that one, works for a day and it fails. But if you stuck with it, it would probably survive. Now, once you've figured that part out, the money management side is what will get you through it. And that's what I'm going to discuss now. Now, for me, I live on spreadsheets, you probably know that. And there is a little trick that will get small amounts into big amounts without too much sweat. And I'll show you. Let me just flick this over. And it's simply compounding. Spoke about this before. I've made this sheet. I'll post it for the scruffs later on this afternoon. And it's really a framework to keep you in check. Because if you think you're going to put 300 quid into an account and by the end of the week you're going to be thousands up, you're in cuckoo land. You really are. Because the markets won't allow it. You know, it can only move a certain sort of distance per day. So depending on what you're putting into your pot, for this example it's 300. Why? Because it means I can open cable, and it means I can open the FTSE reasonably safely. Right? And I'll show you that in just a second. If you are looking to trade some of the bigger markets, you want to be looking at brokers that have a decent leverage. I'll give you a couple of examples. This one, BlackBull. BlackBull at the time of video will give you 1 to 500 leverage. So that will stretch your pennies out. That will help you. And you have micro lots on MT4, MT5, that sort of thing. Go in the description below. There's a link directly to it. And that link will get you access to free education, all that sort of stuff. Likewise, just while I'm on, if you have got a limited fund, look at something like a prop firm. The 5%ers, if anybody knows me, you've seen me, I went through this journey. I trade for these guys. I traded up this one here, the 52,000, and it now pays me £1,000 a month for doing no more than my own job. But what it means is you can buy in with a very small amount of money, get the leverage to open up the positions, and then be paid from it, because these guys are live from day one. So again, look down in the description. There's discount links off it as well. You get 5% off the fees. But again, there's free trading resources with these guys, and they'll teach you how to do it. And as you go through it, you'll often see that it's me that's doing the training as well, because I do help these guys a lot. Okay, but it's all based around compounding. You know, the reason why I picked them two out is because they are relatively cheap routes to market. Because you can go on to some and the margin requirement is quite large, which means if you have a small balance, you can't trade it. You know, and in fact, I'll give you some examples before I go through this. This is IG. It's the broker I normally use the most. If I was to trade the FTSE for argument's sake, it's 50p a position, costs 228 just to open up the trade, so that's fine. You know, if I wanted to trade cable, it costs 230 at 50p, so that's fine. I can easily do it on sort of 300. But what if I haven't got 300? Say I've only got £150. Well, if you look at the commodities, gold can actually open up a pounder position. It only cost you 89 quid. But then you have to ask yourself, well, can I get 10 pips out of it? Well, you can, because there's an hourly chart. If I draw 10 pips as a block, at least I will when it works. There we go. Alright, so we'll make up 10 pips. There's 10 pips. Well, there's, and if you're looking at the waves, well, there's a wave of 10 pips. There's another one next to it, another one next to it, another one there. There's certainly a one there. So even just looking at this hourly chart, there's 10, there's more than 10. And you're only looking for one opportunity a day, just one. So if you trade gold, you could easily get your 10 pips. Cable, no brainer. FTSE, no brainer. All right. So you can do it with the markets, just on small balances. If you want something like pound JPY, you need about 500 quid. The DAX is 340, so you can build up into it if you so wish. But let me just talk you through what this sheet does and why it's there. If you open up the screen and you immediately just give me a trade, I need a trade, probably going to fail. Why? Because you're chasing the market. Worst thing you can ever do. Chase the money and chasing the market. It's ludicrous. You know, you'll just descend into gambling. And that gambling will be your undoing. But if you went into the market and were just looking for 10 pips once a day, would breed patience. And you'll wait till the planets align. And that's why you keep notes, and it's why you keep an eye on what's going on. So the plan is very simple. Put your 300 in there, which gives you the reimbalance balance and a baseline balance. All right. Your risk, you just put in whatever it is you're comfortable with. Now, for argument's sake, you're on gold, and it's 2%. So just put that down there. Look at your risk and look at your profits completely separate. That's telling you you have a stop of 12. So it's on your 10 pips, it's roughly 1 to 1. It's slightly inversed, but it's not that bad. All right. And if you want to keep your risk reward perfect, there you go. All right. So you're risking 1.5. It's a 9 pip stop against your 10. All right. And again, you can mess around with that because you might have a high win rate strategy, so you can risk maybe a little bit more just to give the trade some room to breathe, all of that sort of thing. All right. You know, so, and when you're starting, 5% is a reasonable benchmark. Why is that? It just allows it to breathe. All right. And if you win, you win, you win, you're banking, you're banking, you're banking, it's fine. But as the bank grows, reduce the risk. In other words, every time you put 50 quid in the bank, move it down to 4%. Put another 50 in, get it down to 3. And the aim is to get the risk as low as possible against your sort of bid sizes. The initial stages is always the hardest, guys. But once you've got up to a decent pot, the risk becomes fixed and your bid size becomes fixed. And I'll show you that. So you're starting with 50p. And you've just seen from the markets that I pointed out that you can do it. So in the initial stage, today you would make a fiver. £5. What do you do? And it makes you a balance of 305. Now on this I've put end balance. That's what you've really done. Okay? Because these orange are the baseline. So it's telling you to start with 3 and end with 5. Anything above that, fabulous. Alright? So like say you might have done 307. Ran over a couple of pips. Fantastic. So it's put you in the green. You're happy. Come to market the next day, you're going to follow the same thing what you did the day before. Why? Because it works. It's showing you it works. You traded the FTSE, you're on the 1 hour time frame, you were in a good mood, and you used an 8 to 20 crossover system on a moving average. Simple stuff. All right. Repeat the process, repeat the process, repeat the process. And it's the repetition that'll get you through it. So the next day, you're coming to market, you're doing the exact same thing, but you're increasing your bid size by 10%. Now you might want to increase it by, say, 5%. It'll auto-calculate. But in this case, it's 10. Instead of earning your fiver, you're doing the exact same thing. You're earning £5.50. So your benchmark would have been 310.50. But you've actually got 311.50 because you're ahead of the game. And this is what I was talking about, building up the pot against the risk. As long as you can get your end balance more than what the target balance is, you've always got money to play with. All right, extra money in the pot. And all you do is you do it repeatable every day, once a day. And if you did it that way, sort of after 30 odd days, or 35 days, or whatever it happens to be, where we are, 32 days, you'll have over 1,000. But look at your bid size. Your bid size gets up to about 960. And you might be thinking, oh, no, my margin requirement can't take that. Can it not? Well, let's go back and have a look. Where are we at? Spot gold, 10, 895. Yes, it can take that. But what you would do at this point is, because when you get up to £10 a point, it's £100 a day, and if you do it once every day, it's £500 a week. And you've done this in 30 odd days, you know. I think that's a half decent return. But I would also cap the bid size. I'd have probably capped it at about 5. And it's very simple. You just get up to a fiver, sort of here, and you just cap it. You just tap in fiver, and that's it. That's it fixed. So you're now making 50 quid a day off that one trade, and you let it be. But what if it goes wrong, I hear you say? Because we don't live in a perfect world. Well, in that case, you step backwards. All right. So in this instance, you would have lost £40, near enough. You would just look to see what the profit is. That one is. So your next step would be you go backwards to 492, just like so, and then start the process again. So all you ever do is whatever you've lost, step back. So if you lost 100, you would go 2 steps back. All right. And why is that? It's just the amount of profit, you know. So if you'd have made a 50 here, another 50 there, you just go back 2 steps. And that way, it just means you're not over egging the account all the time. and you're putting too much stress on it all the time. But every so often, take a breather. And what I mean by that is cap your bid size. So if you get it to £4 and you're quite comfortable with that, stay at £4 for maybe the next 5 trades. Helps the account build up a little bit, and then carry on till you get to a £5, and then maybe take a breather at a £5, so forth and so forth. And then when you get to your desired level, say you want to be £100 a day, well, that's £10 a pip on 10 pips. Just cap it. Just leave it at that. Let it build up. So I hope this makes sense. The whole idea is just the power of compounding. So starting with 300, you can get it to 1,000 relatively quickly by just using common sense. And it's that simple, guys. It really is that simple. Your strategy is not what makes you money. It's your planning and preparation that makes you money. And for me, I plan everything. You know, I go into the market with a set criteria of what I want out of it. It's normally about £200 a day. As soon as I've hit 200 quid, I'm done for the day. And that way it stops me chasing it. And that's it, guys. So I hope it makes sense. I genuinely do. By all means, contact me if you're stuck. Check BlackBull and the 5%ers out, because they genuinely will help you stretch your pennies and make yourself a little compounding plan. It's very, very simple. Compound the bid rather than the balance, and you'll find it's an easier pill to swallow. So as always, guys, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.